Hey guys, it's your boy Purex Enigma here for part three of my, I guess, self-documentary, if you want to call it. A lot has happened since my last video. The unthinkable did happen, and I don't want to get into personal life right now because that's not what this is about. But just to whoever does care, just know that I'll be okay and everything will move forward how I want it to go, hopefully. So, yeah. But going back to where I left off, depression is something that comes and goes. Now, it's not something that will stay often, it's not something that can go away quickly. It's something that is always there with you. Now, apart from all the symptoms that I told you about the last time and how it affects my life, the other part of the story is that it controls you. Now, when I say by that is that you can feel any way that you want to feel, but the second it's in control, or the second that you start hearing voices telling you what to do, that's when you know that, hey, you can't really do much about it. And you feel helpless, you feel hopeless, you feel just flat out like garbage. And it can be pretty bad. And I'm not going to sit here and say that it's not. I mean, me personally, it's constantly there, always telling me how much of a screw up I can be, or how much of a screw up I am, or things that I've done wrong and blow them out of proportion. But um, I'm still here. I'm still fighting, and slowly, I'm figuring out more ways to cope with it and how to help it. So I kind of wanted to whoever does suffer from stuff like this or needs uplifting, always keep in mind that I will be here, and if anybody always needs advice, I can support that. Now, number one, and I'm gonna say this: the number one way to deal with this, and I'm gonna just say it in my own personal standpoint, is stay busy. You always want to bombard yourself with things to do. That way, you never have to be alone with yourself up here. It's always keep your hands busy, keep your mind busy, always just stay busy. And it's a great way of coping with it because you don't give your mentality a time to catch up because you're always a step ahead. And it's always great to deal with things like that. Me personally, I love to multitask. So when I play video games, I like to also be on my phone when I'm not going through social medias, checking up on stuff, always reading the news, be thinking constantly. Being on my laptop while I'm on my phone and playing video games is always a good coping mechanism because I'm always busy. Even when my game's loading up and I'm ready to go into the next match for Call of Duty, I'm always on my phone or on my laptop, or I'm talking to somebody. I'm just always keeping my mind busy, my hands busy. That's also another huge alternative because sometimes you really think about self harm, and it's something that I don't really like to share about myself, but since I would say middle school, and lots of people like to joke about this, but the reason that people cut their wrists or like any part of their bodies or punches walls to like for fun and stuff, or just to like it's not really something that I feel like people should make fun of. I mean, me personally, I'm kind of a effed up a hole. So I mean, I personally joke about everything, but that's just me. But personally, if I'm deep down in a conversation with somebody who actually has done things like myself, cutting and self harm is something that doesn't alleviate the pain, but it helps you transfer your emotions and feelings to that pain. So instead of having to think about what's making you sad, or think about what's triggering you, or thinking about what's bringing you down, it's always about the mentality goes to the pain that you've done to yourself. So it kind of takes away your emotional pain, but not your physical. So now your mentality is on physical pain because it burns or you're bleeding or stuff happens. So it's not like people just do it to get attention. It's sometimes you really feel like it's the only way to alleviate your mental stability, to just forget about your inner problems and just focus on outer problems. And it's something that I can say that it worked, but eventually, you could F up and you could cut the wrong part or just do something retarded, and next thing you know, you're dead. So, me personally, that's another thing that I never really wanted to share with people, but it's never make fun of them for doing it until you know what exactly is going on. People make fun of emos for it, but yet again, emos are the people who are most depressed most of the time, and that's why they're called emos, because emos is short for emotions or emotionality and stuff like that. So, but always keep yourself busy. That's a huge alternative. Another one is keep your mind busy in a way that you know that you can. And by that, I mean music or TV before you go to sleep. Now, it's a huge thing that's been helping me since the day I was born is I always like to go to sleep with the TV on. And the only reason why I say that is because during that time when you're trying to go to sleep, you are alone with yourself. You are alone with your own mind until you knock out. And sometimes that downtime right there is what can be the deadliest because you just feel extra alone at that point because you're trying to go to sleep, but then your mind doesn't let you. So, a huge thing is always have noise in the background, something that you can focus on until you fall asleep. Me personally, and also I don't like, well, anymore, I don't like watching me personally, I love horror genre. I love scary things. I like extraterrestrial things. I like abnormal things, supernaturals, all that type of videos and contents. But I've since laid off of them right before I go to sleep. Like I used to love watching creepy videos and creepy pasta stories and other type of things, but not anymore before you go to sleep because that can be a deadly combination to trigger nightmares and insomnia or um, sleep paralysis, and it's always something that you want to avoid. So I personally like to enjoy myself like comedy based shows, like I watch Family Guy, American Dad, South Park, all of that right before I go to bed, or like a movie that you really like I like Marvel movies personally, so I can watch a lot of them over and over again and I never get bored because I always look out for Easter eggs. Always, that's another thing is like keep your mind busy. Relate things that happen on the show to real life, and then just laugh about it. It's always a good coping mechanism because you keep your mind busy right before you go to sleep. And sometimes, people go directly to sleep. Some people have dreams. Some people have nightmares, but nightmares usually won't occur if you think of positivity before you go to sleep. So yeah, always do that. Now another thing is always it's an old saying. It's called eat healthy, stay healthy. But I think about it like this: when it comes to my condition, it's eat healthy and feel healthy. So um, when you eat healthy, at first, of course, when you're eating it, you don't really feel good because you're like, hey, some of these foods, it's not greasy, it's not good tasting, it's not all that stuff. But later on, once the food gets processed and everything, you feel good because you have more energy, and it kind of counteracts the way sometimes when you feel down, the food kind of like helps you like come back up because it gives you a blast of energy and it helps you just stay busy, and it coexists right with exercise. Now, exercise is something that uh, always helps because it always helps you keep your hands busy and your mind busy because you want to keep pushing yourself to your limits. You want to keep doing things, and you want to. Well, in my case, I want to bulk up, so I want to definitely start hitting the gym and stay busy because that will easily take up time out of my day, and not only take up time out of my day, but time out of my body, out of my strength, out of my mentality, out of everything. So just like that, I'm busy and I'm working on a goal. Now, that's another thing that keeps going into coping with depression is setting goals for yourself. Now, you want to set yourself easy, smart goals. You don't want to really shoot so far up ahead. Like you can have an idea for the future, but you can't really plan for the future. Now, that's something that I personally have dealt with is that I always try to shoot too far into the future that I forget about the current, present, and past. So it's always easy to get lost with yourself when it comes to that. So always set yourself smart, easy goals, something like in a week time period or even less, or maybe at the most like 2 months. And you always just want to just work with that and always just keep your mind on that. Have something to fight for, which leads into my other coping mechanism is focus on people that bring you up. Me personally, I like to well, I'd like to spend time with my girlfriend, but unfortunately, we're not together right now anymore. I didn't want to release like a breakup video or anything, but right now, currently, we're not together. We're still trying to work things out, but like I told her before, I can even focus on fixing what was broken. I need to fix my broken self. So I can't glue two pieces together so I can glue the two bigger pieces together. I gotta really focus on fixing myself as a whole so that way I can bring something back to the mashup and make a heart. Just like that. But always focus and it's not like I've lost her forever. I'm glad that she's still around and I can still, you know, use her as somebody I can fight for because that's always something good to have is surround yourself by positivity. And it's not like negativity is never going to be around, but always try to subsidize the negative with positive and always just have a mass abundance of it. So always keep yourself busy with friends, with family, people that you like, people that can show you fun. Me personally, I have a lot of friends, so I'll always have them to bring me up when I'm always down. And although we're not together, my girlfriend, or should I say, my friend, still helps me out a lot no matter what, and I still find comfort in her and I still find the fact that she can bring me up. And it's always good because since I'm trying to set a goal for myself, my goal is to keep fighting for a relationship that I've had for such a long time and that I don't want to lose. So it's always good to have something to fight for, and in this case I do. And whether it's a week, 2 weeks, a month, 2 months, I don't want to say a year, but I really don't. I hope it's not a year, but hopefully, as time progresses, change can happen and magic starts coming back in. So I have something to fight for. I always have something to strive for. So that's always good. And then the last thing is just focus on the areas you need to fix. So if you know that your depression always like causes you like to be more sleepy, keep yourself active. If you notice that your depression keeps you a little bit more fattening with eating, well, try to really focus on dieting. If you notice that you don't sleep as much or that you sleep too little, I mean, just try to fix some habits. You feel sad all the time, focus on happy things. Surround yourself by positivity. It's always a mixture, and always make sure to never bring others down. That's a huge mistake that I have done and I have to live with, unfortunately. But always remember that what you do or what happens to you will always affect the people around you in more ways than one. And you never want that to be the cause of somebody else's demise, knowing that you were the one that caused it. So, with all that being said, this will be my final video for now. If there's any other updates or if there's anything else that I've kind of realized or learned, I will be more than happy to share it. But for right now, that is my story. I'm currently focusing on fixing myself as a whole person before I start to strive. Personally, I will be streaming more on Twitch from now on. rather than YouTube until I can revamp my YouTube channel. I will leave these 3 videos up here as I do want to share my story, and I want people to look at me and be like, hey, if he can fix himself, so can I. So expect more vlogs, expect more different types of content, expect more positivity. Definitely, it's going to be cool. I will release a schedule about what I'm going to start streaming, and definitely make sure to leave a like, a comment if you want to. Definitely, please, positivity, guys. I mean, if you guys want to leave a negative, I'll negative you back. I mean, I don't care. I'm always a dick, anyways. But always like, comment, subscribe if you want to know more, if you want to see more, and definitely if you want to play more. And last but not least, share this video. If you know somebody that's going through depression and you feel like this video has actually helped you learn a little bit more, or even just in general expand your knowledge on it, share this video with them. Let them know that, hey, there's someone here that suffers exactly like them and knows what to do. Well, at least I hope I know what to do. And let's help people together. I mean, it's always great to know. And for the people who have known me for years, or that have known me for a pretty decent amount of time, and you want to just talk about it, and you want to, like, I don't want to say help me, if you just want to like hang out and just want to, talk, learn more about it, I'm here. So that's all I have to say for now, guys. Thank you so much for listening. If you've been through all 3 parts of my videos, I know part 1 was pretty much just like an intro, but part 2 and 3 is definitely, in my opinion, going to be the most helpful in this. But yeah, that would be it for this. I'll send you guys updates when I can. For now, signing off. Pure X Enigma, Jimmy Gonzalez. See you on the next one.